After breaking free from the Viltrumite prison, Nolan and Alan continued their journey, with Nolan finally revealing the full truth about the Viltrum Empire. He explained why the Viltrumite population was so low, recounting the brutal philosophy that had governed their civilization for millennia. The Viltrumites believed in absolute strength, culling the weak from their society to create an elite race of conquerors. Over thousands of years, they expanded their empire, subjugating countless planets and enforcing their rule with an iron fist. But their supremacy was challenged when their enemies developed a devastating biological weapon, the Scourge virus. The virus tore through the Viltrumite ranks, killing the majority of their population in an event that would forever change their history. Craig, one of their warriors, lost his eye due to infection, while others like Conquest suffered severe injuries, with him losing his forearm, an eye, and receiving a brutal facial scar inflicted by the Ragnar. Those who succumbed to the virus were discarded into space, their bodies forming a haunting ring around Viltrum, eerily resembling Saturn's rings. The deaths continued for decades, further thinning their numbers. With their forces stretched thin, the Viltrumite High Council had to rethink their strategy. Instead of conquering entire planets through sheer force, they needed a way to ensure the continuation of their species while still expanding their reach. Crossbreeding, once strictly forbidden, became a necessity. Over time, they attempted to merge with other species, but the results were inconsistent until they discovered Earth. Human DNA was almost a perfect match for Viltrumite genetics. Nolan's own son, Mark, was proof of their compatibility. Earth, he explained, was meant to serve as a breeding ground to rebuild the Viltrumite ranks. The existence of the Scourge virus was erased from official records, but its impact was never forgotten. Alan, disturbed by what he had learned, suggested they warn Mark about the Viltrumites' plans. But Nolan insisted they had a more urgent destination, Telescria. Accepting his reasoning, Alan prepared himself, gathering his gear before they set off. Upon reaching Telescria, Alan returned home to his girlfriend, Telia, who was more than eager to welcome him back. However, her enthusiasm quickly turned to alarm when she spotted Nolan. Reacting on instinct, she fired a laser blast at him, only to barely singe his clothes. Alan quickly stepped in to calm her down, explaining that Nolan had been instrumental in their escape. Meanwhile, two aliens discussed the significance of Nolan and Alan's meeting with Thetis, having verified the information contained within Nolan's book. They were particularly unsettled by the sheer power Alan had gained from his transformation. When Nolan and Alan finally met with Thetis, they revealed everything about the Viltrumite genocide. Thetis, though composed, was visibly shaken. He then made his own revelation. He was of Viltrumite descent. To prove it, Nolan asked him to remove his beard, but Thetis dismissed the idea, stating that he had long since ceased to care about appearances. Alan, however, noted that Thetis had already proven his origins. Nolan was stunned. He had always believed himself to be the only Viltrumite to betray the Empire. But Thetis revealed that his own defection had been erased from history, much like the Scourge virus. He then disclosed an even greater concern. A double agent was hidden within the coalition of planets. He assured them that any future reports on their missions would go directly to him to prevent leaks. With that, he gave them an hour to prepare. After suiting up, Nolan led Alan to the Nebuloid Belt, searching for a place he had visited nearly a century ago. Deep within an asteroid, he uncovered an object of great importance, a gun belonging to Space Racer. Alan, confused, mistakenly referred to the wielder as Space Rider. Nolan corrected him, explaining that the name change had been necessary to keep Space Racer's enemies at bay. Alan then asked why Nolan had left the gun behind. Nolan explained that the weapon was bonded to its owner and that attempting to take it earlier would have triggered a destructive reaction. More importantly, the gun could pierce through anything. As Nolan reached for it, the weapon shifted deeper into the asteroid. Realizing what was happening, he and Alan worked together to free the buried figure. To their shock, Space Racer was still alive, his metabolism having sustained him for nearly 100 years without food or water. The moment he was freed, Space Racer retaliated, unleashing a powerful blast that shattered nearby asteroids. Summoning his hover bike, he knocked Nolan aside. The former Viltrumite attempted to reason with him, explaining that they were there to help. Space Racer, however, believed they only wanted his gun. Alan intervened, vouching for Nolan and stating that they had thought him dead. After a moment of hesitation, Space Racer relented. He agreed to accompany them to Telescria, albeit with caution. Upon their arrival, Thetis was astonished to see Space Racer alive, especially given the circumstances of his survival. Medical experts examined him in disbelief. Once cleared, Thetis permitted them to leave. With no immediate accommodations, Alan offered for Nolan to stay at his place. Unfortunately for Nolan, that meant enduring a sleepless night on the couch while Alan and Telia enjoyed their reunion. Their next mission took them to a planet inhabited by the deadly Ragnar, creatures known for their ability to kill Viltrumites. Nolan explained that prior attempts to eradicate them had failed. His plan was to freeze them using a solar disk to block their sun. However, when a Telescrian ship mistakenly destroyed the disk, the Ragnar quickly thawed. Nolan, frustrated, attempted to subdue one, but the beast overpowered him. Meanwhile, in the command center, the ship's crew monitored Nolan's vitals, alarmed by a sudden spike in heart rate. Alan rushed to assist, but was attacked by two Ragnar. Just as one was about to devour him, Nolan intervened, allowing them to escape. Despite their failure, Thetis acknowledged their efforts, noting Nolan's notorious temper, but commending him for showing restraint. Over the following months, they undertook multiple missions. They retrieved Klaxis plants, which could weaken Viltrumites, and extracted glands from Sinlac beetles, which had been used to suppress the plant's growth. They sought aid from Geladeria, learning of Tech Jacket's potential involvement in the fight against the Viltrumites. They even attempted to harness space sharks, but ultimately killed them off by drying their ocean. Their journey also led them to the home planet of Battle Beast, where they learned of his past. He had once been the planet's guardian, maintaining balance until his thirst for combat became an addiction. He left in search of greater battles, and his people still awaited his return. As time passed, Telia suggested that Nolan find his own place. Alan informed him of this, much to Telia's delight, allowing them to resume their intimate relationship. Nolan met with Thetis once again, expressing concerns that all their collected resources might still be insufficient. In response, Thetis led him to a hidden chamber. There, Thetis admitted to his ultimate secret. He was the one who had created the Scourge virus, using his own DNA. Though he hadn't anticipated the genocide it would cause, he made it clear. If the Viltrumites pushed them to the brink again, he wouldn't hesitate to use an improved strain to finish the job. And that's the story, folks. Please, leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. See you next time.